Alright, people, it's Baldur's Gate 3, finally! It's getting loud again. I could have sworn I just made that quieter. I did, but it got loud. I guess when I made my profile it changed. Okay. Well, since we're at it, for personal friends of mine in a certain Discord. Where is it? Unit system. Yeah, I switched that. So when I made a profile, I changed it back. So it defaults to metric actually. Hey, Dungeons and Dragons on metric system, but I'm gonna switch it back to Imperial. It's because Dungeons and Dragons, the tabletop does use Imperial, so I just want to make this kind of see how much it matches is kind of what I'm going for here. Like, I'm expecting some levels of video gamification. I mean, you just can't do straight up conversion. But we'll see how close we can get. So I noticed that. I was like, oh, okay, cool. You can do Dungeons and Dragons and metric if you really want. But we'll do Imperial because that's what actual Dungeons and Dragons does. So we're gonna start a new game. Oh hey. Going to allow access to stuff. Come on, allow access. Boom. It's only display errors there. It's kind of weird.
Who are you?
Oh, hey, character creation. Good. We don't have to go through the entire intro cinematic. Alright, so our goal. What is. Okay, it just didn't load. I was like, that is ugly ass chainmail. But. We're going to be recreating one of my favorite Dungeons and Dragons characters of the ones that I have made personally, not like in the lore or Forgotten Realms or anything. Is going to be Harlgrimm, son of Theiros. He's a human, variant human, battle master, fighter, and spam build. So Sentinel Polearm Master, for those who don't know. So it's not like the most unique build, but it's an effective build, and I love it, and I also love the character. So yeah, he's young, he's like 19 years old, he's just a human from a small town where everyone knows but each other else. It was on intersecting like trade roads, so there is it's nothing there itself for people to like come to it, but people pass through it fairly often. But it is also in like a human kingdom, in a homebrew world, so whatever. And so it's mostly humans. He doesn't know dwarf because dwarves will go through there occasionally. He's seen like halflings, the occasional half elf probably, maybe like once in a blue moon saw an elf. But not too many of the other races I don't think he's really encountered. He's lawful good. His dad was a veteran of a war and then retired from being a soldier and was basically the head of the town guard. He followed in his father's footsteps. He was always kind of scrawny growing up, so he was a little bit on the smaller side, and eventually, through blacksmithing apprenticeship too, and training with his father, kind of bulked up a bit. So now he's respectably strong, and just kind of worked as a town guard under his father for a fair bit. Eventually, there was reports of bandits harassing travelers through the area. They rented up a posse, went to go deal with it, and then they all got ambushed by a bunch of undead. It was a necromancer ambushing people to turn them into undead. So I set up an ambush for the town guard, slaughters all the town guard. Then between his father sacrifices himself to save Harlgrimm, and then it opens up an opportunity for Harlgrimm to kill the necromancer, and that's kind of the call to adventure because and his mother died in childbirth, so he's only known his father as his only family, and it's basically like at that point he's nothing left in that town anymore, and he wants to go out and try to see what he can do to change the world for the better. So he's very young, rather naive and idealistic. He always wants to protect those who can't protect themselves. He's very much like for the law because he lived in a small town. He hasn't seen like the corruption that like heavy law can bring, like really lawful societies and like not as benevolent leadership can bring. So he's typically adheres to the law. And this is of course starting Harlgrimm from his like starting position. I mean, he's technically played through 2 campaigns, so his visions now are very different. But this is kind of like starting to adventure Harlgrimm. So we're reverting back to that mindset before he's dealt with politics and shit. So it's fun. He does have a flaw, which is his flaw is primarily at the starting point is he kind of just trusts a pretty face. Like he thinks he's kind of nervous around women, and he's tend to believe what they tell him. So he can easily be manipulated by like an evil woman per se, that's trying to manipulate him and stuff like that. So we'll try to represent that he's a little uncomfortable around women. He doesn't really know how to handle himself. He dumped charisma, so he's not the best speaker and shit like that. So we'll see how we generate stats. I'm very curious as to how we can do that. So, origin. What are these? Great Colin is Astarian? Shadowheart. Oh, these. Okay, these are. Okay. These are the pre-made characters. Gotcha. So, we'll do male. It's Harlgrimm. Background, he was a folk hero. So Origin. How do we determine abilities? Abilities are here. Okay. So race was going to be human. Can we make a variant human? Can we not make variant human? That sucks. I am upset. Standard human is shit. Legitimately, standard human is not good. Because at best you need stats in like 3 of these. So 3 of the ability score bonuses are basically like thrown away. You don't really care about those for any of your builds. So it's just kind of a waste, and I'd much rather have variant human, being able to pick a feat from the beginning, getting a free skill, and only having a +1 and 2 that you can pick, so you can bump up just the ability scores that you care about. It's much better, but he was a human, so we'll stick with that. I'm just upset that we don't get to have variant human. I really hope that they do add variant human in the future. Alright, so human. Oh, voice.
Hells. A tidy slot, but no rune.
That definitely does not sound
The
like him.
stone's less warm here.
Okay, that's a female
Hells.
voice.
Something just woke up down here. A tidy slot, but no, the stone's less worn here.
Definitely not
Hells.
sound like him. I
A
imagine.
tidy slot, but no rune.
Okay, so none of these voices sound like him.
Hells. Something just woke up down here.
We'll do this because it's a bit lighter
less
and
worn here.
younger sounding.
Recently uncovered.
Yes, it's very sophisticated. Alright. Can't go too crazy, it seems, in customization. Let's get skin tone. For that, you're fairly tan. Going for someone that looks fairly young. That looks pretty young. So that might work. It looks like 6 is my best bet here. That also looks really young, but that looks a bit more handsome than he'd be. I think 6 is our best bet. Okay. I'm gonna go with that. Eye colors. What color eyes do you have? Shit. I'm trying to remember. I think he just had brown eyes. He's a pretty plain looking dude. Let's see. Maybe. Man, all these hairstyles are really curly. Luscious locks. Oh god. I'd imagine him having longer hair than this. Definitely not. Maybe. That's a maybe. It's kind of simple, not really dressing it. It's also somewhat long. Slip back. Also a possibility. That's not too bad. Bit more styled version of that. It's not too bad. Too slick back. I like that. I think I like that. Skin tones, not. Skin tones all look kind of weird. Fox Fighter, I think that's Ginta. Okay. Okay. No tattoos, no makeup. Okay. I think that's decent there. Cantrips. Because it's cleric first. Alright, so, fighter. Definitely a fighter. It looks like it's doing standard array right now. That appears to be... I mean, if it's standard array, this would probably be the way to do it. That would actually pretty well represent Harlgrimm on a standard array. So that's pretty good. Athletics, animal handling, survival, intimidation, whatever. Does it just pick those? Strength saving throw, constitution saving throw, light armor, medium armor, heavy armor, shields, simple weapons, and martial weapons. It's not... I got second wind. It's not fight the proficiency, skill proficiencies. Normally you'd be able to pick like 2 of these, I think. But it's just giving me all of them, I guess? Interesting. Skills. Oh, okay, so it automatically selected 2. Alright. So we got animal handling and survival because of our background, the folk hero. So, I believe, yeah, we definitely want athletics. He's not really an intimidating person. It would be insight and perception, I think, because variant human would give us an extra skill. And he's a town guard, so he could kind of learn to read people a bit, and he's got decent wisdom. We bumped that up eventually. I think he had 14. So we rolled both times, in both campaigns he was in, which is technically the continuous story, whatever. It's not important. He died, and then he got reincarnated as a homebrew race, a soulbound, which is basically like Al from, or Alphonse from Full Metal Alchemist. So he's just a empty suit of armor possessed by a soul. And he had amnesia and stuff, and then, you know, he's got his body back now, so I'm currently playing that in one of my campaigns. So we're definitely not taking intimidation. Do I do insight or perception? Oh man, what do I feel? I feel like perception is probably just generally better. We'll just do perception. Ability scores. Okay, so it's point buy. So we can change this up how we want to a little bit. I do like 14 dex. I might just do 14 con, and that gives me 2 more points. How much does that cost me? 1 and 1. I like that. That's pretty good. That'll work, I think. That'll work. A bit more wisdom than he needs, but I suppose I could probably like just do 12, and then can I get to? I can't do that. That's too much. Yeah, I think that'll work out better, I think. Is there anything left?
Tell me, who do you dream of at night?
Oh. Oh. That's interesting. Huh. This took me for total surprise. This is like the ideal romantic companion, I guess? Interesting. That's really weird. Huh. Wow, this is asking me a question about Harlgrimm that I did not expect. I mean, you probably wouldn't dream of a drow. I like how drow is a separate race from elf. This is before he's met like his actual romantic interests in the actual campaign. Do I just make it like look like his actual romantic interest in the actual campaign? No. What would he be attracted to? Fuck. Man, that's a good question. I'm trying to do this from a roleplay perspective. So I'm trying to think, what would Harlgrimm view as the idealized woman? Cause he's straight, so it's gonna be a woman. I think we might do half-elf. Just because it's like that slight bit exotic, you know? It's slightly different. A high half-elf? It's not just generic half-elf. Interesting. I appreciate this. I appreciate this because this means that dwarf women can have beards. That's going to answer a question that I had. Now I have to check something real quick. Can elves have beards? Okay, straight elves cannot have beards. Okay. That matches lore. So, and half elves can grow beards. So I appreciate that. See, I'm gonna go with half elf because I think it's just that little bit exotic. Wood half elf. High half elf. Go with wood half elf.
Hells. Something just woke up down here. A tidy slot, but no room.
That sounds much more. That's much more the accent. That's the much more like low-born commoner English accent that Harlgrimm has. Why don't they have a male version of that? That bugs me.
Uncovered. Hells. Something just woke up down here.
A tidy slot.
The stone's less worn here.
Hells. Something just woke up down here.
A tidy...
The stone...
Hells. Something just woke up down here.
Let's go with that. Alright, so now I guess we just make a hot chick. I'm bad at this. Alright. That's a bit too yellow. Okay, well, let me change that. And I like that better. I accidentally clicked something. I don't know what I clicked, but I like that better. That's a pretty good skin tone, I think. Eye color. interesting. Those are interesting. Elf Spring. I mean, that helps for like a half wood elf character, I think. Elf Spring 2. That's really nice. I like that one. Green 1, Elf Green 2. Let's do Elf Green 2. I did not expect to be doing this. Let's see. I mean, that's a pretty alright. You know what this be? This might be what, like, succubi appear as. That would be really smart. They do this for, like, if you encounter a succubus and shit, this is what they would make themselves look like. For a temptation sort of thing. That makes sense to me. That's what my money's on. My money is on this being for a story element involving succubus. So they make you design your ideal like sexual sexualized imaginary partner. So that when you encounter a succubus, they take that form because they would be able to do that. That's what my money is. That's my money. Is on this is for succubus stuff. It looks like the female hairstyles are a different set. Yeah, they are. They're a different set of hairstyles. That's pretty intricate. Pretty nice. Nope, definitely not that one. Alright. Eh. Eh. Definitely not unlike a light-skinned woman. Same with that. That's alright. This is what we were, which is alright. That's pretty interesting. I like that. That's the one side there. Ba-ba-ba-da-ba. Succubus / incubus, of course, because they're both just which sex they're representing at the time. Karen. Oh god, Karen haircuts. There's a lot of hairstyles. That's good. And not all of the male ones were trash. I kind of like that one. And bald, so I imagine that's the last. Alright, what was it? This one? I'm just gonna stick with that one. I feel like the darker hair. I like that. That's pretty good. Slightly darker. Ginger though. I like the auburn. I'm feeling the auburn, guys. Alright, tattoos. I mean, you know, it's reasonable they would have a tattoo. Sparrows. It's probably on the covered side of... Oh, God! I accidentally, did that. Oh, it's up there, so yeah, definitely not that one. Reasonable for a half elf to have that. A half wood elf. A lot of Cthulhu shit in here. It's probably covered. Yeah, it's covered by her hair. Dragon, probably covered by hair. Oh, it's no tattoo, so that was really. I like that one, I think. Might do a nun. I think we'll do no tattoo. Makeup. Classic eyeliner. Kind of color would we want? I'm bad at this. I don't know, like, what color would help accentuate. Do you try to accentuate the eyes? Do you try to, like, match the eyes? I know black is just, like, a safe bet. I mean, let's try. No, definitely not that. We try to like go with the hair. Matching the hair works pretty good, I think. Hot chocolate. Earth. No, the hot chocolate color looks a bit better. Plum. Plum's not bad. But I think kind of matching the hair works a bit better here. Ripe. Ruby. Cream. Iron Maiden. Butterscotch? Butterscotch is pretty good. And I think I like that slightly darker. Yeah, I think that works pretty good. Let's see what the other makeups look like with that. That's not bad. Also not bad. I think we'll do that. What's this X for? I'm afraid to hit this X. I guess that's it. So yeah, I am betting that we will see this when we encounter a succubus. That's what my money's on. nautiloid.
Oh, my head.
Affected by mind flayers and infected with some kind of parasite. We need to find a way off the ship. Seems reasonable to me. We have successfully autosaved. I'm trying to figure out how I do stuff. Mind flayer pod.
Someone else got out.
Okay, that's who we saw.
Might be other survivors.
So we've got a bunch of empty pods. No one bothered to bring us with them. Restoration.
I feel better.
It's a Healy thingy. Restoration. Can't throw, too heavy. That's an interesting thing. Looks like there's other sections we can check here. Let's get to those. Like up here, there's things, something useful we can pick up. It seems I have a weapon. Inventory. What about equipped? Character sheet. So I have a longsword to start with. I like that longsword. It's got the rings on it. Double ring. Double ring is not typical. Scale mail. So medium arm to start with. Leather boots. I wonder how they do. Do leather boots do anything? Okay, so yeah, that applies the medium armor. Is this just fashion choice? I don't know. It's also probably for like magic items and stuff. So I imagine only armor counts for your AC generation, and then for various magical helmets, magic gloves, magic belts, and stuff. That's what I imagine. Oh, and you have an off end. You have a secondary weapon, which doesn't display. Oh, you think that would show up on the back, but it did. I start with a short bow. Do I need arrows? Probably not. They're probably just like, yeah, you have arrows. Just write that off. You have arrows. Don't worry about it. Like 90% of DMs do. So, all right. So I have a longsword to start with. It's 1d10 because we're two-handing it. We don't have a shield equipped or anything. Okay, so we are armed somehow. I don't. Oh, dead guy. Hi. How you doing? A void bulb creates a force that pulls in all nearby unfixed items. And a potion of healing. Take all.
Dead. Good.
So somehow I started with 2 potions of healing and a scroll of revivify. And now I'm on fire. Whoops. Fire resistance. Alright. So yeah, I believe that is like a fire thing. That's more like a oil thing, I think. Is that you burn for 2 turns, you take 2 turns of damage if you're covered in oil for 2d6. Or 1d6 each turn. So I just took 4 points of damage, which is not great for a level 1 character. Just willy-nilly take that. A viscous chair. Well, that was creepy. A hollow shell. Illithid record.
Images of goblins, their habits and histories flash into your mind.
Oh, that's neat. God, that is creepy. What hollow shell? Like colored glass. Interesting. Dead imps.
Devil kid. Am I in the hells?
Yep. Okay. This is very unnerving slightly. A caustic bulb. Not all these. So Steve Road would be quite pleased. Decoy chill. I mean, I don't know what any of these things do. A brain jar.
Curious.
Is that what's calling to me? It's probably a barbed device. device. A bonus action? Bonus action to what? It's a bonus action to something. To throw it, I guess? Do not know. Cerebral aquarium.
Brains.
I don't see brains in there. Oh, there's one. I don't, whatever. A dark mind.
Brain in a jar.
Faint images appear in your mind. A brain, a Githyanki warrior, and centuries of darkness.
So Harlgrimm would be like, who the fuck is that green person?
1,000 years of humanoid history. Elves, dwarves, humans, and more flash behind your eyes.
That's cool. Oh god, I uncensored the camera accidentally. There we go. A neural apparatus.
Doesn't do anything.
So I'm gonna assume that it's these like brain jars that are yelling at me. Be like, help us. We're stuck here. Is there a way up there?
Release us.
Oh, jump. Use jump. How do I jump? Opportunity attack. Automatically attack one creature in your reach. Pin down. Ranged attack.
We are here.
Cleave. In-hand attack.
Here.
A bonus action to jump. Too high. Oh god, it's chugging. Sorry, I'm
We
kidding.
are trapped.
Okay. Let's do a concern.